Welcome back. I'm going to show you how I turned this cube into this wallpaper, and there are two versions, but we'll stick with the dark one. Big shout out to Rochelle Victoria for being a sleepy dumpling for 29 months, and Avor for being a dumpling for 23 months, Max B for being a sleepy dumpling for 17 months, and Neotono for being a dumpling for 18 months. I really appreciate the support so much, and if you would like to become a member and get access to all these wallpapers, emotes, perks, all kinds of stuff like that, go ahead and click the join button. So I had a very clear vision for the wallpaper today. As you can see, I did a quick digital sketch of it, which I think I'm getting a little better at least conveying what I want to. I'm not very great at drawing. So I think it turned out good, and I think the whole thing looks the way I imagined it, which I'm really, really happy about. So I started with the pumpkin, turning the circle, not a cube this time, a circle into a pumpkin, and then basically cutting the top out, so I could create kind of like those mugs with like tops. I thought it would be super cute to have a pumpkin mug giving an expression, like a really cute face, with eyes, kind of like how you see it in like Cuphead or the claw, kind of like in Loki. That was kind of like what I was thinking about. I thought it would look really cute. I really wanted to give the model cheeks, but I ended up, not having enough time to kind of try that out, and I was really worried about ruining the initial model. So I kind of worked on the stem for the top of the kind of mug, essentially, and I knew it would go to the side. I was going to angle it like it is in the little sketch that I did, but I decided it looked strange in 3D, at least the way I was doing it, so I ended up placing it down beside it. I really liked modeling the handle. The handle with the vines is one of my favorite parts of this entire wallpaper, just because I used a newer technique that I learned recently. I've had just a little bit of time to kind of learn a few things, so I'm hoping in the next two wallpapers you can kind of see the things I've learned coming through. It's been a while since I've had time to really apply the newer things I've learned, just because I've been really sick and a lot of weird things have been going on. So I also used sculpting. So usually modeling is what I've been doing, but I have been sculpting recently, learning how to do that. So I actually did model the initial shape of the handle and then sculpted it, and then used a technique with basically using one of the mini black circles you see that connect to each other. That's a vertice. So going single vertices all the way around to create the vines. I created kind of the texture using the sculpting, as you can see, of the wood look that the handle is supposed to have, and then used this single vert technique for the vines. And I think it all turned out really good. I really liked doing these two things. The handle kind of showed the newer things I've learned or been working on. I'm hoping to do character sculpts and stuff, so hopefully by our December wallpaper we'll be able to like fully sculpt a character and stuff. That would be pretty cool. So I am learning, just takes me a while. So I do love how this handle turned out. It is the way I saw it in my head, like with the shapes. And I think it just looked super cute. I'm really, really happy with this one. So yeah, and this is actually interesting. This is one I started before I got Miss Rona. If you didn't know, I had Miss Rona for a while, and it's been taking a while to recover. So I started this actually end of like September, and then October I finished it kind of a couple days in October. So all of what you're seeing happened a while ago, actually. So editing it was kind of weird because there was two very different ways I was doing some things. Yeah, I just kind of worked on making the eyes shape because I knew they'd have the cutout. I did make it flipped compared to my drawing, and I actually think, I'm not gonna lie, I like my drawing better with them flipped the opposite way. Let me know what you think. Do you think they look better with the cutouts in the black of the eyes going to the left, or do you like it going to the right? I think both are fine. I think I just personally prefer them going to the left. But let me know what you think. There's no wrong answer, so it's just personal preference. So yeah, I started kind of lighting the area, just kind of setting the face and using the cutout technique that is honestly very destructive. It kind of destroys the model you're cutting out of. I'm hoping as I learn sculpting, and I have my digital tablet, my screen tablet, I'll be able to sculpt out those edges. I just really have to get used to using sculpting tools. So I did kind of color this one early to give me kind of a look, because honestly in the gray without any, the gray monotone without any color, it just looks so boring, and I wanted to see it coming alive and make sure it was looking the way I wanted. So I do add color here and there and move the lighting around just so I could kind of keep seeing my progress, especially as I added the cute little blushies. So yeah, I did do things a little out of order this time. There are no, staples or like cuts inside of here where I'm like background or something. It's pretty all over the place, especially because I worked on it so far apart, just because I got sick. So yeah, I kind of added an orange glow, which I thought looked really cool. And I did make the eye whites glow. They actually are glowing just so they would come out really white and contrast. They were a little too bright. At this point, I did actually turn the brightness down. And I think they looked better, but I did keep them white because when I turned the glow off, I just felt like it looked dull and I really wanted the eyes to pop. So they actually are glowing. So I was kind of looking at that with that lighting. And I did a leaf, which I think I did a good job. This is the first time I kind of modeled a leaf, just like from what I learned from memory about modeling leaves. And I think this one, it came out pretty good. It came out the way I was imagining it. I didn't finish drawing leaves in detail on my sketch, but you can kind of see how I wanted them with those little green bulbs that I kind of drew on the side. So I just kind of followed that and added like 3 leaves, and I knew I wanted them to be different colors, like fall colors. So they ended up looking pretty good, and I think they really do help bring the whole wallpaper together, because I do put them in the background and I think it really brought the background to life. So here I'm just kind of copying the mug essentially. You know how sometimes they have those, they're not like mugs, but those I'm thinking like porcelain. I don't know if it'd be porcelain, but you can put candies in them. Sometimes people put flour in them. Those types of like jars essentially, but they're kind of like this is a set. In my head, that was the idea. So there's small ones, there's larger ones, and they're not mugs, but they're kind of like maybe in the set with the mugs. And they're just like these jars. So I put a few in the back of different sizes, and then decided to start working, all over the place this time, but on the single vertice technique I mentioned. So this will become our vine, and I kind of this took a while, but I just had a video on the side and just kind of worked away, and just basically put the vertices looping all the way around in the pattern I kind of wanted based on how I sculpted the actual like wood, or the, it's not real wood, but the wood look. And I think it turned out really good. I'm really proud of the vine. That is the first time I've ever done that. So if that's my first time, I'm like, hey, we can only get better from there, hopefully. So I liked how it came out, and kind of finished that. And then, as you can see, I realized that top needed to be on the ground, to the side. And then I started kind of working on the background. I think I do add other items, like, because I just wanted it to be colorful in the background, but not too colorful that it was distracting. As I was adding in these pumpkins and duplicating them, I realized it was just too much orange. So I lightened up the scene a little bit, and then started to probably get distracted because I was all over the place this time, and just kind of try and see the whole area better, and then started adding in like the foam. I started adding in, I think, a pot later. This foam was actually cool. I've done something like this before, but I learned it in a tutorial on YouTube, and I've just remembered how to do it, and I really liked how the foam turned out. I knew the foam had to look good because the foam on a pumpkin spice latte looks great, I'm not gonna lie, I've never had a pumpkin spice latte. I've never had one. I know y'all will come for me, but they look really good, and I probably should try one. But I knew the foam always looks so nice when I've seen people have them, so I got the foam ready, and then I thought, oh, the background's looking bland. If the foam stays white, I want maybe a darker greenish color, and that's where the teapot came in, which it actually, I didn't realize this, but there were some shapes that are like pre-made. I don't know if it's an add-on that I have on, so the teapot was just there, which I appreciated not having to make one. And then started fixing the lighting a little more so that I could get a good look for how the light would bounce off background objects with the orange. Also having an orange light. I did do some research on pumpkin spice latte toppings because I couldn't remember what it looks like, and most of them have I'm not sure what it is, I'm not gonna lie. I'm assuming it's like pumpkin spice or something sprinkled all on top. I'm probably wrong, but some of them looked a little bit like the shape I'm gonna make, and they were a little bit greeny sometimes, or like an orangey, so I decided to make them the shapes I was seeing the most, and then a little greeny, kind of like a little spread on the top of the foam, and I think it actually turned out pretty good. I think it looks pretty cute. So I did that, and adding that took a while, but I think it turned out. I think I do add more after, but it was really cool being able to go on Pinterest and just kind of do some research just on how things look, and then being able to put that into my work. So here we're really, I've added more stuff. There were some times I didn't record because I was still a bit sick while I was putting it together. I added cinnamon sticks because I noticed a lot of them had cinnamon sticks put in them, and I thought that would look cute. So here are both versions, dark and light. I hope you enjoy. Members, I hope you enjoy the wallpaper. And again, if you want this wallpaper, you just have to become a member, and then you can get access to every single one I've made so far. Thank you so much for watching, and have sweet, sweet dreams.